We are Stephen and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hey.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, coming to you from scorching Scottsdale, Arizona.
Not yet, but coming.
Yeah.
We'll be in a
probably
different
100
state
today.
We'll be in a different state for sure when it gets real hot.
Yeah.
Today, Jill and I talk about real estate investing in the year 2021. What's different about the past and what's probably coming in the future.
You know what this is like? I remember when I was newly dating, late teens, early 20s, and you're a girl, I'm a girl, all hung up on a guy. And my mom sat me down and said, look, don't get all hung up on this guy. You think this is it. You know, this is the guy. This is, what I'm going to do, whatever.
He loves me. But he loves me.
No,
you don't understand.
It wasn't even that. I was too into him. But my mom's like, look, let me just share this with you. The guy that you bring home at 18, 19, 20 is pretty different from the guy that you're serious about in 30, 31, at an age that you should be really getting serious.
Oh, do tell. What are the differences?
Well,
because this is going to be the show now.
all right. Want some truth time?
Yep.
I may or may not have been in a punk rock phase at that age. I once had my hair done, came home, and my mom cried. So I may or may not have dated a guy that wore more eyeliner than I did. And as you can see, Stephen wears zero eyeliner.
Yeah.
So there's a little difference there. So.
I'm the guy she's settled for.
Where's eyeliner guy now? I don't know.
Probably looks like me. Just a lot less money.
That's true. So anyway, that's one really good example of what was then and is now. You know, what you thought was important then, and wow, it's the end all be all, and what's really important now are different. And what's really going on in 2021 now with real estate and investing and everything is pretty darn awesome. And I'm glad that you're older and can handle it and you're ready for it.
I don't even understand. Is 2021 the punk rock guy or the old guy like me?
2021 is you.
Okay.
Yeah. No. That was a year that I'm not going to call out, but it was way before 2021 when I was 20.
You're actually assigning a real year. I understand.
Yeah.
Whew. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. If you're already in our group, join us on Discord.
It was in the 80s. I will be truth. So, okay. Austin wrote, hello, I'm writing this in response to podcast number 1479. Do you remember that one? I do.
Oh, yeah. I remember every single word.
Me too.
I remember episode 10.
I love it. About recovering landlords. I do remember that. I've owned a duplex for about 10 years. This is going to be funny. It cash flows about $600 a month, depending on expenses. If I was to sell it right now, I could gross approximately $220,000 after paying off the underlying mortgage.
I'm going to stop you there for a second.
Yay!
You would net 220, not gross. Okay. This is, oh my God, Jack. Really? Do you have to call us out on every little nitpicky thing? Gross, net, please.
He does. He does.
Well, for the same reason that your mother stopped you from saying ain't your whole life, like I ain't going to eat my, my broccoli.
Okay. You're picking on us.
It's
we
net.
Got it.
It's net. You're going to net 220. Well, look, we're all real estate investors here. We should learn to speak the language. It's not a criticism. I'm just helping.
It's a helpful reminder from Jack. Okay. The real estate fees and other taxes would still need to be subtracted. I'm not sure what this looks like tax-wise until I have a chat with my accountant. Would you guys hang on to this asset and let rents and equity go up, or sell it and apply to property acquisitions. I know what I'd do. We're going to answer at the same time. Hold, please. I could also do a cash out refinance as well. Thoughts on this? Okay, so here are your choices. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3.
We have 3 choices.
1 is hold. 2 is sell for cash. 3 is refi. So hold, cash, refi. All right, or hold,
sell.
Hold, sell, refi. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Sell.
That's why we're together.
Thanks for playing, Austin. Your prize today is a free trip to see Land Academy deal funding in person.
Here's why. Austin, I'm not
thing.
picking on you. I want you to have a great real estate career. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Let's think about this like it was an investment, not a piece of property, but I don't know, any investment that you can make, a piece of shares of stock or convenience store, anything that you could make. You paid, if you have equity of $220,000 in this thing, you paid more than that. You probably paid over $300,000, or let's just say you paid $300,000, $280,000, some number, $250,000, I don't know. You put at least $20,000, $20,000 or $30,000 into this thing, unless you have some weird 2% down mortgage. So even if that's the case, that's not good, because it doesn't matter. You probably paid more than that. It's cash flowing at $600 a month, so you make what, $7,000, $7,200 a year on something that you put. It's going to take you. How many years is it going to take to recoup your costs, and how much risk are you taking?
I have a comment to make. I just did the math.
And if you do, give me 1 second, Joe. Okay. If you cash out refinance this, you're just leveraging it more. So it becomes less worth, the asset becomes less valuable to when you go sell it. So this is not, that's the reason we did the episode 1479, is to really inform people about these tiny little houses or duplexes or quads that I don't think almost ever make sense financially, unless you're like buying it in California, where it's going to double in value in 5 to 10 years. But even now, California is making it in my opinion, very hard for landlords to collect rent. And that's not going to be a new thing. It's going to be, this is the part of the show today. So get the hell out of that thing.
I think you did great up until this point. And let's talk. Here's my math. $600 a month times 12 months is you make $7,200 a year. Times 10 years, that's $72,000.
You're so the girl for me.
Why would I want to pass up $220,000 now to hold on to this for another 10 years and still not make that much money?
It comes
down to...
That would be
20 years of your life, and headaches and tenants and moving in and moving out and carpet cleaning and carpet replacement and new roofs and, all of that for less money. I take the money. What I could do and what you could do, Austin, because you're in Land Academy now, we got you, with $220,000 in 6 months, it's...
You could turn that into $1 million.
Easily. So what's the thing? I'm like... to me, it's just no question. I think you did great.
Me too.
You did awesome up to this point. Now you need to cash out and make some different decisions.
This is not some scheme to get you to join Land Academy. It's not at all. You're already in the club. It's not some way to get you to do something you're not comfortable with. It's just pure math.
Yeah.
If you were a grandfather and you're 82 years old and you just didn't have the energy or care about buying and selling land, then a duplex where you collect $600 or $700 a month or $7,000 a year, and it complements your Social Security, and you're playing with your grandchildren all the time. That's a great investment. Mm-hmm. But
that you give to the kids, that you give to you, Austin. Yeah.
Do you obviously have the energy and the interest to do other things in real estate? That's why you're here. And I just think your $250,000 is going to be put to great use by turning land deals.
Exactly. That's good.
In fact, if you were going to say, I'm going to sell my duplex and buy and sell houses right now, I would say keep the duplex.
Okay.
So land is the way to go. Today's topic, real estate investing in 2021. This is the meat of the show. Hope I wasn't too hard on them.
We'll find out. I'm sure we'll hear about it.
There's some people. Austin, I'm not picking on you.
Yeah.
I get in a lot of trouble sometimes by answering these questions. If I was smart, I wouldn't use the right name.
You know, Austin knows. I think we got to know you by now. You, good, bad, or otherwise, you are very transparent and truthful and speak your mind.
I want everyone to succeed.
Sometimes I wish you wouldn't speak your mind.
Do you have some questions for me on this topic?
Yeah. My favorite thing is when I walk out and you go, not your best look.
I don't do that unsolicited ever. She's paraphrasing. She pestered. All men know this. Does this make me look fat? No, sweetheart. You look
I don't
awesome.
do that.
You look great today.
I don't say that.
Is that new?
I'm like,
no,
hey, what do you
don't
think? I'm like, what do you think? I feel good about it. And you're like,
Oh, no. You look fantastic. I would
yeah,
absolutely.
not your best look.
No, that's my final to end it after 10 comments that didn't get received well.
I have a lot of goodwill piles.
You look great today.
Thank you.
Are
Anyway.
you sure? Yeah, I'm telling you look great. I think that's new, isn't it? No, I got that 2 years ago.
All right.
I'm not sure it fits right.
I
Does it fit me
opened a
right?
can of worms. I don't even say that.
Just sometimes you do.
I don't, but thank you. Thanks for throwing me to the bus, the imaginary bus that I didn't even bring to the table.
Kind of did.
Anyway.
You brought this all up yourself.
All right, back to the topic. So I was going to ask you, okay, now it's 2021. I have 5 things I want to ask you about. I want to ask you from then, because there's change then to now. I want you to give me your old best resource and your latest one. So let me give you, number 1 is data. Think back when you first started this, how did you get data? And tell me what you do now. What's your number 1 tool?
So there's no data that was available in any way like this. What I did was I would take any type of data set where I could get a fax number. Let's say it was back in my way back days, it was anybody who owned a nursing home or an assisted living facility had to register with the national, wherever they got money. And so they had to disclose their phone number and who the administrator was. It was a pretty good database, actually. And it was in a book, like a phone book. And so I, one time for 2 weekends straight, input that all of it and got a very solid list of fax numbers and a person to send that fax to. So that was the only data sets that we had. There was the only way you could get data and I wasn't in the business yet, for landowners was to go to the county and ask them for the data, and they would hand you, and they by law have, the reason we're all in business
Public.
is it's public information. So they would hand you a green bar sheet, IBM printed out green bar sheet, and you'd have to input it that way too.
What's your 2021 favorite tool for that now?
Data tree.
Good.
If you can get a data set in any county, they have 100% coverage in the country for any county, and download it in seconds, what used to take me 2 weeks to get it into the correct format.
Love it. Okay, number 2, mail. Then and now. What was how would you effectively send out offers then to now?
So there was no bulk mail scenario, no such thing as a mail merge in the early 90s. Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word were in their infant stages, and they didn't connect through a mail merge. In fact, most people, including me, were using Lotus instead of Excel. So there wasn't a way to send mail to landowners other than taking that green bar sheet and typing it out one by
Yikes.
one, which I didn't do. I opted for this fax thing for commercial real estate.
Love it. What's your number 1 mail source now?
Is this a trick question?
Kinda.
Well, we were Jill and I were so unsatisfied with our bulk mail client in 2004? No, 2010. Mm-hmm. We went through a ton of them, and they all sucked, so we created our own. So now we use offerstowners.com.
How'd you do due diligence then and then now?
This is hilarious.
I like this.
We would take due diligence is when somebody signs an offer and they send it back, you look up the property. It would start with a plat map. So we'd have to get the plat map from the county.
How long would that take?
Which is it would take a week at least, because you'd have to send a check to the county. They would go back and Xerox it on a photocopier and send it back to you in the mail. If you're real lucky, they would email it to you. And this is around when email started, which is not when it started, but when it became prevalent in like '04. But they still didn't, there's some counties you still have to send a check. Like there's counties in Arkansas that still are not computerized.
What's your due diligence number one tool now?
I mean, you can pull up NeighborScoop. Again, we created the tool because we were so dissatisfied.
Kind of where I'm going with this too. I didn't even realize as we're talking this through, we had how many tools that we had to create to make them even better.
We created NeighborScoop.com to do this. So it's when you can do it on the phone with the seller now. You can pull up their property and say, "Yep, I'm going to buy it."
And you have their phone number. It's amazing. And FEMA flood map stuff. It's awesome.
It's easy to pull up real estate that if it has a post office address, 123 Main Street. But there's 150 million properties in the country. Like 85% of them don't have a post office address. And there's very, very few tools. One of them is NeighborScoop that allows you to just put in a state, a county APN.
And there it is.
And it pops right up.
Yep. All right. Talk to me about property management, like your CRM. How did you manage the deal flow back then? And
We very poorly managed it in Excel.
how many times did you lose it and have to go
I don't
back
know.
recreate it? Oh,
I don't know how many deals we lost. I suspect it's a lot.
when I first started, that was one of the things that was like every year we get the tax bills, right? And we're like, oh, wow, we forgot about it. We still own that. Where did that go?
We still get tax
Oh
bills
my
for
gosh.
properties that
That's
I'm
true.
like, oh, geez, I didn't.
Do we still own that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one just the other day. I'm like, oh, I forgot about it. I actually paid it current because they're about to take it back. I'm like, you know what? I still want this one. So I got it all current. That's so funny. All right, and so what's your property management system now?
You mean like a CRM, not a property manager?
Yeah, not the
Airtable.
person.
We use Airtable very successfully. We just talked about it on Career Path, and everybody was like, wow, this actually works. It's pretty simple. We don't get any money for talking about this and don't want any money. And the important thing about these CRMs, including Airtable, is if you're new, if you're doing 30 or 40 deals a year, you don't need a CRM. You can just manage that in Excel on Google Drive and get VAs involved if you need to. But it's when you're doing 200, 300, 400, 500 deals a year or a month in some cases, it gets to be a mess.
Okay, you're almost at 100%. I have one last question for you. Back then, and again up to now, versus now, what was your number one go-to resource for help or guidance or something like that? Mentoring?
There isn't any.
Yeah. How about
There's
now?
no place to get any questions answered. In fact, you know what? Land has been the bastard stepchild of all real estate and continues to be misunderstood and completely overlooked by the vast majority of real estate people. I don't care if they're real estate agents or real estate investment trusts. That's just not what, for whatever reason, people want to be in until you talk to a single-family residential home builder. And then they'll say, land is the bane of my existence. I can't ever find any. When I do find it, it's too expensive. So it just becomes this thing where everybody doesn't like it. Go to any, well, now it's because of COVID you can't, but go onto any webinar and ask, well, I'm thinking about buying some land. You'll just get screamed at and scoffed at.
What's your number one resource for help and guidance and everything now?
Jill DeWitt.
Oh, oh darn! You were almost at 100%.
No, it's sounding like a commercial now.
No, it's
Land
no.
Academy is,
Honestly, when I wrote this stuff
Oh,
down,
Discord is mine.
that's what I thought you were going to say too. Yeah.
Discord is.
Yeah.
If I have any questions about anything or I need a business partner or
You have a
money
community
for it,
now.
I just go to Discord.
Well, I was thinking about how it changed from then to now, and then it went to, oh my gosh, we've helped make these changes that I didn't even realize until we're talking about it.
I didn't know this show was going to go this way, but here's my final comments. There's never been a better time, never, to buy and sell land. There's never been more tools, more help, more data,
Money.
and more money available, and more instruction, and more willing sellers, warmed up willing sellers, because it's crazy out there right now. And it's going to plane off. This whole market's going to plane off. It's not going to crash. It's going to plane off for a while. And then it's going to even be a better time. There'll be, inventories will rise. And it's just, I've never had, in the worst of times, And in the best of times, I've always had a jam-packed pipeline full of acquisition candidates. That's the truth.
Thank you, babe. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is, well, it's Jack Thursday. 5 things you must know before you start real estate investing. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
That was awesome.
Was it?
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite shows.
You know what? Every time I turn the camera on these episodes, I really try to not sound preachy, and I think I sound preachy there.
No, it was good. I really want you to share then to now. You did a great job.
It was a pain
of
in the butt
explaining it. Yeah.
to get deals done back then.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, there was absolutely nobody buying and selling land.
Yeah.
No one. So, you know, I don't look back on those times like a gray-haired guy and say, those are the good old days. These are better. It's better now.
Totally agree. Even the deals we are doing.
The deals are better.
Bigger and better and
The data's
easier.
better.
I have help now. It's awesome. If you need any sort of ownership or property details, including owner phone numbers and FEMA flood map overlays, check out neighborscoop.com. Created by investors, that's us, for investors like you. We're Steve and Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.